All right, let's get right into it. Today we're going to talk about something that really separates the pros from the amateurs when it comes to AI. See, whenever there's a new piece of tech, especially something as powerful as AI, we humans, we tend to ask a really simple question.
And that question is, which one is the best, right? We're all looking for that single, perfect answer. We want that one model to rule them all. Every time a new one drops, the whole conversation is just about how it crushes the last one, not about what makes it special or unique.
But here's the thing. That is absolutely the wrong question to be asking. The people who are really, truly getting the most out of this technology, they're not looking for the best tool. They're building a toolkit. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world, starting with one of the biggest companies on the planet.
Okay, so let's start with Microsoft. I mean, this is a company that has famously bet billions of dollars on OpenAI, so you'd think their choice of AI model would be a total no-brainer, right? Well, things are getting a little more complicated and a lot more interesting.
So, get this. Microsoft is now starting to integrate models from Anthropic, OpenAI's biggest rival, right into its flagship product, Office Copilot. This is a massive shift. But what's really wild is that they're willing to pay for Claude through Amazon's cloud, no less, even though they get OpenAI's technology practically for free as part of their huge partnership. Why on earth would they do that? Well, the answer isn't some kind of crazy corporate drama. It all comes down to performance. According to a report from The Information, the teams building these features they just found that for certain jobs, Claude did it better. Things like complex financial functions in Excel, or, and I love this, creating PowerPoint decks that were more aesthetically pleasing. For Microsoft, that little bit of extra polish is worth paying real money for.
And that right there perfectly proves the point. Microsoft isn't the only one noticing Claude's specific talents. Anthropic is really leaning into this, and it's kicking off a whole new competition in one of the most useful AI applications out there, creating entire documents right from scratch.
Anthropic just launched this amazing new feature where you can just describe the document you want, upload some data, and bam, it spits out a ready-to-use file, a PowerPoint, an Excel sheet, you name it. Then you can just talk to Claude to make tweaks. No more copying and pasting for hours. The AI is doing all the heavy lifting for you.
And you know, the experts are really taking notice. Professor Ethan Malik said that Claude's new skill with Excel is the best he's ever seen. He threw a single prompt at it, and it created a super complex spreadsheet with over 400 formulas. His verdict? It's solid. For anyone who works with data, that is an absolute game changer.
And we can actually see this with cold, hard data. Olivia Moore over at the venture capital firm A16Z ran a test asking different models to create a slide deck from a document. The results are, well, they're not even close. Look at this table. Claude got it done in just 4.5 minutes. Meanwhile, ChatGPT took nearly 20 minutes. I mean, come on. For any job where you need to move fast and try things out, Claude has a massive advantage.
All right, so it's not always about who has the most raw power or who's the fastest. As AI stops being a fun toy and becomes a real tool that businesses depend on every single day, another factor becomes just as important, if not more so, the cost.
And you know, there's no better place to see this in action than in the world of AI coding assistants. Think about it. When your developers are running millions of queries a day, every fraction of a penny adds up. The question isn't just which model is the best. It's which model is the best for the price.
And just look at the seismic shift this is causing. This data from one engineering platform is incredible. Developers are leaving Claude's coding model in droves and flocking to a competitor called Codex. You can see one is just skyrocketing, while the other is absolutely cratering. So what's behind this huge migration?
The answer is so simple, it's beautiful. It's not that Codex is better on every single metric. It's that, as one engineer, Sawyer Hood, put it, it is just really good for the price. That's it. In the real world of production AI, that performance per dollar calculation is king. And this exact same dynamic, this balancing act between raw capability and cold, hard cash, is already playing out in the next big AI battleground, video generation. And you better believe Google is making some very, very aggressive moves. Google just dropped a big update for its V3 video model. Yeah, they've got higher resolution now and vertical formats for social media, which is cool. But the really important news for professionals is something called V3 Fast. It's a cheaper, quicker version designed for one thing, what Google calls scaled production use. And to get people to actually use it at scale, Google is coming out swinging on price. For their main V3 model, they just slashed the cost by a staggering 46%, I mean, that alone sends a huge signal to the entire market. But then you look at the new Fast model, and the price drop is even crazier. A 62% discount. Google is basically trying to make it a no-brainer for creators to build this tool right into their daily work.
So let's just break down what this means in real money. 1 second of video from the main V3 model used to be 75 cents. Now it's just 40 cents. And the new V3 Fast model, that's now just 15 cents a second. All of a sudden, creating pro-level AI video at scale goes from being some wild, expensive experiment to a totally practical business decision.
So let's recap. We've seen a massive corporation choosing a specific model for its creative flair. We've seen developers switch models entirely based on cost effectiveness, and we're watching entire new markets, like video, being shaped by this dance between power and price. So, what does all of this mean for you?
It means it's time to adopt the power user mindset. It's what I call the AI toolkit approach. You have to start thinking that there is no single best model. They're just different tools in a box, and each one has its own unique strengths, its own weaknesses, and its own price tag.
So here's the most important takeaway from all of this. A savvy AI user doesn't have a favorite tool. They have a collection of them. They know exactly when to grab Claude to make a beautiful presentation, when to use Codex for a cheap and effective coding sprint, or when to fire up Google's V3 Fast Draw for a quick video edit.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you start using these incredible technologies, stop asking which one is the best. Instead, ask yourself this: what's the job I need to get done, and which tool in my kit is the right one to do it?